Hello everyone, I'm Kaydos from Limit Break Marketing. I just created this company recently, and today is just an introduction to marketing because I think that's a vital thing for indie devs to learn. So first up, just a little bit about me. Originally from Tasmania, got my Masters of Marketing from there, got my second head cut off, came up here and now looking for an indie dev team. And probably a really important fact is I'm a gamer. I know a lot of people in the actual games industry and like the marketing side of that are not actually gamers, and I don't think they understand gamers properly. Not pointing at Ubisoft or anything. Okay, so I'm introducing 4 key rules. The first rule is make a good game. The easiest way to market your game is if it is good. Now I understand you don't have the computer power of say Square Enix or the creative design and experience of Shigeru Miyamoto, but with what you have and what you can do, create a good game. We will be getting back to this, however, because this will tie back in later on. So just a quick question, who here are actual game designers? Show of hands. Sweet. You guys already have a lot of the key fundamentals. For example, in marketing, you want the customer to perform a certain action, much like in, as like Ben was explaining, you want to direct them in a certain way, you know, do a certain pattern. In a game, when you defeat a boss, you want to be rewarded, much like in marketing, when the person does something you want, such as buy your game, you want them to feel rewarded. As well as the language that you'll use in marketing your game will depend on the game and your audience. For example, if you're talking about JRPG, you'd use like hit points, mana, that sort of thing. If you're talking about a first-person shooter, you're obviously not going to use that language. So rule 2, everyone asks me, what is the simplest way to marketing? Just this one thing I'll do, I'll press one button and then boom, my game, everyone's going to know about it, everyone's going to be playing it. There is no single shortcut. So much like game design, marketing is a lot of different processes, all well thought out, and different choices, and it's all these elements working together. And what might work for one game, like you see a lot of people seeing Slime Rancher's success, for example, and they'll just copy that and they're a bit confused why it won't work. It's much like in marketing. So, marketing is just about getting more people to play your game. Wrong. That is just one aspect, but it is a very important aspect. So I just really want to make that clear, because everyone instantly says, oh, how can I get more people to play my game? How can I get more people to play my game? Think of it as if you're building a boat, marketing is like your sail, so it's going to push you where to go, but you still need to focus on the actual boat, the steering wheel, the rudder and all of that. And that's where we get to the 7 P's of marketing, which is our product, price, place and promotion. They're the 4 P's, and then the extended ones are people, process and physical evidence to make the 7 P's. To put it into perspective, product is like the game itself and also like the packaging. Price is like monetization strategies. So that's how much you're selling it for, free to play, DLC, all of that. Place, just interpret that as platform. Like you're going to put it on Steam, PlayStation 4, mobile. Promotion, that is, you know, again, the YouTubers, the Facebook advertising, all those aspects. The other 3, people, process, physical evidence, doesn't really apply to a lot of games. This is more for service games, so games that are coming more as like subscription models or like League of Legends, like long-term games that you don't actually buy per se. And people is just like your community team, people that will handle Q&A and that sort of thing. Processes is how easy it is to like actually buy a game. So if you're doing your own website and you download it, how easy is it to actually find the buy button? How quick is it? If you have in-store apps, how obvious it is what you could buy and what you get? And physical evidence is stuff like your website and all of that. But how do you decide all of these? And that's when you have to focus on your customer. So everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm making a game, like who's going to play it? Everyone's going to play it. Wrong, yes, good. So marketing is much easier, much more efficient and cheaper if you actually know who your target audience is. Now, there might be, for example, some 60-year-old grandpa that like loves playing your game, but you're not going to focus on all the 60-year-old grandpas as like your key audience. So here are just some YouTubers and a baby up there. So it's best to understand the age of your customers or players, where they're located, what sort of genres they enjoy. And like these ones are sort of obvious, but then if you go into the type of gamer they are, which Matthew talked about here a month ago, like if they're a competitive gamer or if they're a cooperative player, you actually use a lot of different language when writing your descriptions. For example, if you're making a game where you cooperate with other players, you'll want to use words like sharing, teamwork, togetherness to like really illustrate that. Whereas if it's competitive, you'll be like dominate, conquer, win, you know, that sort of language. And this decides your 7 Ps of marketing. And now, as we said, like marketing isn't just about getting people to play your game, it's actually demonstrating value to your customers or players. But it's why they should care about your game and why they should maybe care about you as an indie dev. So, here's something I basically made up, the customer evaluation decision process. So the perceived value, how much you think your customer thinks your game is worth, and this applies to not just games. The cost, so for example, if your game is $20, you want the value to be more than $20 because then they're thinking they're getting a good deal. And then if your perceived value is higher than cost, you get a favourable outcome, which might be to actually buy your game. But there might be other favourable outcomes. For example, if someone's seen one piece of your marketing, say a trailer, and then if they're like, wow, I can really see the value in this, I haven't decided whether I'll buy it, but a favourable outcome would be if they actually search more info, such as like a gameplay trailer or actually go to your website. So, what influences customers the perceived value of your game? So, here are the factors you control, and we'll get back to it. Number 1 is your game. When you make a game, you really want to have it focused towards your like your key customers and stuff. You'll see like a lot of issues. Has anyone played PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale? Yes, one person. Okay, it's an alright game, but for people to play for the first time, it's absolutely terrible. But just a bit of background, it's like a mascot beat 'em up. So think Smash Bros, but for PlayStation. However, for new people to play, it's just really confusing, really difficult. So, but people on the high end really enjoyed it because it brought in a lot of new mechanics. So they completely missed their audience with that. Descriptions we already talked about. So on your website, like what language you'll use. Screenshots. Has anyone seen Blastin' Bunnies on the PlayStation 4? Yes. Okay. Have you seen like the screenshots? Yep. The screenshots are basically just wallpaper. Like they give me and everyone else zero information about the game and just don't add really value. So they missed an entire opportunity there by choosing the wrong screenshots for their game. In the name of your game, for example, you think of games like Need for Speed, you've got speed there in the title, so you know it's about racing. And then you always have these ambiguous ones like Tharsis, which is about like a space game. It's named after something on Mars, but you know, that actually means nothing to me. And then you've got like really a lot of Japanese garbage ones. Yeah, Square Enix is pretty bad on the whole. But yeah, your social media, your website, betas, demos, all of these are influencing people as in how valuable your game is. Price, monetization strategy and platform, and a few of these others can you can have a little bit of limited control over it, but it might depend on certain partners. But then you got stuff that goes in stuff that falls into limited control. So like previous games, like everyone's heard of The Witness. Okay, yeah, good, some people have. Because of the success of that developer in their previous game, Braid, they could then had a lot more exposure for their next game and was a lot more successful and a lot more money. But then you have stuff that you can't control. And I know a lot of game devs, they like just make their game and then you're like, oh yeah, we'll just send it out there, it'll take care of themselves. So we've got like reviewers. And as much as Warner Brothers thinks that you can't control reviewers, you can't. Then you've got like YouTube, Twitch, other social media and all this, and they might actually bring value to your game, but then they can also take away value. For example, you could watch people play a game, not understand the game or be the market, and totally like ruin other people watching it. And then you've got stuff like Metacritic, the internet, and awards. So, that came up wrong. So, this here is the marketing. And this is stuff that you'd really want to focus on and make sure it's custom towards your customers, or tailored towards your customers. So, why your game success on other people? So you really want to focus on marketing, which brings to the final rule. Marketing is important. It is something that you should consider like from the very start, like when building a game, how much time and effort you're going to put in, the monetization strategies which fall under price, and have a really clear understanding of who your customer is so you can build a game around that. Thanks for listening. That's where you can contact me. I don't really use Twitter that much, and I'm also just created a YouTube channel which goes a bit more in depth into specific things like good naming strategies, as well as like how Borderlands 2 incorporate their golden keys in a really good way to get a lot of market research. And that's it. Do we have time for questions?
Say someone has just released a game.
Hypothetically.
They've already gone through like the main launch process of marketing it there. What advice would you give to this person to continue marketing past that initial peak?
Well, it's a bit difficult to say because it really depends on the type of game. But if, say, they're doing like point and click, yeah, adventure search game. How much are you charging for it? How long is the game? Two factors. For example, if your game is like 1 hour, you probably wouldn't want that many YouTubers playing it because people would simply watch that, they'd see how all the puzzles are solved, and then there's nothing from there. So yeah, it's really hard to say that without knowing everything about the game, which is why marketing should tie into the game.
So what are the sort of avenues you would do then for a post-launch game? Would you look at advertising on websites and Facebook advertising and that sort of stuff? Are you focusing less on the reviewers once the game's out and more on sort of maintaining the presence of the game? Is that what
There are a few tricks you could do. So a strong point of your game is like the visual elements, and you even have that in the title where it says eyes. So you could like do a little bit of, if depending on your budget, like a bit of Facebook marketing and that sort of thing. And you could, I'd definitely like have at least emailed 1,000 reviewers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I can't. Yeah. That's.
It was more of a general question in general.
Yes. So I can't answer it directly, but yeah, it's really important to actually know the product because that's on the P's. So the more I knew that, the better I could explain. Sorry. Anyone else?
How long before the release or for the kinds of indie games that we've seen around here, do you recommend people start actually marketing?
Do you mean in terms of promotion or marketing in general?
In general.
Day one. Even Phil Larson, he did a talk like a while back. He also mentioned day one because you want to make sure that your monetization strategy, say in-app purchases, don't conflict with the game design, a few aspects like that. Whereas, a lot of people shoehorn things later in, it doesn't work. Like if anyone's played Black Desert online, it's like a Korean game in the here in the West, and it's an absolute disaster because they've added pay to win, and the Western culture is not really taken to that. So, but if they, from the very beginning, incorporate a bit of strategy, then it would have had more success.
Did you say pay to win?
Pay to win, yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I'm not going to explain what...
First thing I've ever heard.
but it's pretty popular in like Japanese cultures, and they, you know, the term whales and stuff, that's pretty big in Japan. And if you play any like Japanese games, there's like thousands of like dollars worth of DLC. Anyone heard about Galgun? $90 DLC to turn the girls from their underwear to naked. If you need your phone, it's Galgun. Just came on PS4. You might need a US account because that DLC is not here in Australia. So.